So, what if I am not normal? The supernatural is science unknown to you. There is no magic. Things only seem mystical, magical, until you can see the natural reality in them. I am sorry that science will hide the truth from you and keep you believing in superstitious hullabaloo. Many things I say are too elementary to never have been taught as science in 2023. This would still be far from actually relating to unseen energy forces that will help you determine an outcome. There are energy patterns that determine what life experiences will come to various groups of people over a certain period. We can go that far, and these abilities make man godlike. We must be free to rise. In the 1400s, if a man said that he could make a huge vehicle that flies, transporting hundreds of people in the air at once, those that said he was impossible and superstitious would be more superstitious than he was. Superstition appears where there is a lack of understanding of the particular science. He said it because he understood the science around it, or he said it because he saw it. He saw that thing flying in the air and transporting people. And if he saw it in existence, then it is obvious that there is science to explain it. If I tell you that I saw my mother before I was born, you believing that I am superstitious makes you more superstitious than my incredible declaration. In my mother's case, at least she had no grounds on which to deny it because she was experiencing it as the fact. I was asking her the question, but she simply fought to make the truth go away. My mother explained that I was an old witch, born with teeth and mesh over my eyes, and knowing things I shouldn't know. What are things that one should not know? If it's knowledge, why not know it? She felt that I should stop because it is evil. In her mind, there was no possible science to explain it, which to her made it evil. And this is the same thing with most people. Thinking about it now, the science should be obvious to any active mind, especially in the computer age, and seeing how the computer simply imitates man in his body and relationship with the world around him. We see how our bodies gather info and make downloads all day, but we limit all these processes to conventional predeterminations upon a dependency for definitions. We have a dependency for definitions, and that is why I can't imagine that science have not already figured this simple science out. The all will always be the all in the all, the one that is all. We will be all one, and it cannot be no other way. We will be our own individual persons, or we would not have the experience. There is a universal paradox that is inseparable to truth. What do you believe that your genes are? Your DNA is a record of your existence in infinitum, in that it is all of you, including your ancestors. Even if your father and grandfather were still alive with you, you are also them in their entirety, and you also possess all their experiences, faculties, and memories, even the ones that they had after you were born. Cut off a lizard's tail and then strike it, and the lizard will experience the trauma of that strike to the separated tail. Didn't science tell you this? The problem is that some of us are less sensitive than others. Maybe we eat too much fluoride, or maybe we needed to revisit all the steps that we make in child delivery circumstances. We should be doing better with reading from the Akashic records in us, but some are more flatline zombies than others. We have terribly regressed that now I suffered for many years for simply experiencing the inherent faculty of man and scaring people by using it. If you did an empath wrong one day and the next day he showed you that he knew what you did last summer, or you hear him shockingly repeat the very words you said, what do you do? What do you believe? Imagine someone who screams, ouch, believing that this person can see or know too much now. We are afraid of the natural abilities of man. So now she thinks that we saw her when she was constipated, using the toilet, and had to stuck her finger into to break up manure. And this is why they say, abuse him, he is devil. Fear, that's all it is. Fear. People get carried away in their heads, and the poor guy cannot see no damn thing about you scraping a butt with your fingernails too long. He only heard words you said that engaged his energy. That's all. Fear is scaring us out of getting back to who we are, and we will to destroy those that have not regressed as much. You say God is infinite, and you say that he is omnipresent. That's the word you say. You say God is infinite and omnipresent. This simply means that it is impossible to experience God in any form of limitation. If God is as big as the universe, he is also as small as the loop between your finger and thumb. All of your Father is inside of you, and it matters not if it consists of experiences that occurred after you were born. They are there too. This topic came to mind after having a discussion with a second aunt concerning the biggest detail that made my mother angry at me. She explained more of the situation. My mother hated that I kept asking what she was doing at a certain place before I was born. And why do you believe I saw her and remember it all? Even what she said before I was born. Why do you think it happened to me? Shouldn't this be simple science? It is simply that she brought it into focus by thinking over it too hard, that it impressed upon me while in the uterus. I felt every worry and pain, and I remember. And this is why I was so desperate to find out for my entire life. It was very painful to bear the emotions. And at the time, someone said, and these words I heard, it matters not that they were spoken in English and I couldn't speak, but I heard the words. Whatever way they were transmitted to me, I heard it. I knew the interpretation of the words in my mind. The words were, these are the darkest of days. I wanted to know who said that, but 2 years ago, when I asked that first aunt, she began by saying, my nephew, those were the darkest of days. Just like that. She was the one that said it. So when I was born, naturally I wanted to question my mother about it. But my mother would scream at me saying, you cannot know that. You were not born yet. Obviously, come on. But I was insisting that I knew. And that was why I even went as far as asking, why are we like these people? Why? We believe that truth must adhere to sentimental norm. This is wrong. It is a determination to stagnate. When you see something that's not normal, it is good for science. It means that there is something else. What is the norm does not have anything to do with the possibility. It only tells you the things that usually occur. But what usually occur is not the only thing that may occur. So we usually advance. As long as man was upon this earth, we advance at times when norm diminished. When norm is absorbed, that is the time when we evolve or advance. I am simply more sensitive to Akasha than you are. I am simply more sensitive to Akasha than you are. That's all. I remember having a cold at 6 months old. Well, I didn't even know that I was 6 months old, but my mother told me that I was just 6 months old. But I simply remembered having a cold and this old man throwing me up in the air to make me gasp and catch breath. I mean, my mother wouldn't even allow me to talk about it, for she believes that I was too young to remember. Oh, you shouldn't know that you're just 6 months old. When I was born, I remember the first question I asked and the answer from the universe. Yes, I remember the answer from the universe, and I can see exactly what I saw right now, forever. Whenever I ask a question, that symbol come back to my mind. I still use that answer for everything in life. Days I sat down by myself and everyone, my sibling, everybody telling me I'm too quiet. I'm sitting there with my hands at my jaw. I'm looking at that symbol and answering the questions in my head by looking at that symbol. If only we allow ourselves to get back to what we are, everyone would have the answer that explains all. The question I asked was after I said, I am. Because the moment I was born, I think about it and I say, I am. This is the interpretation of what I said. I don't know in what language, it's in my mind. The inherent question was like asking, but how? It's like I said, I am. And then I think and I say, but how? Because when I cross over, it's like going over a bridge and then you're back in forgetfulness. Because before I was born, I was bored and I wanted to come and meet a brother whose hand I always saw on my mother's stomach. But then when I was born, I went back across a bridge and then there was forgetfulness. So I say, I am. But how? There is no higher answer than the symbol of a circle. I challenge any man to this. Akashic records are inside of you and you access it according to the degree of sensitivity. By my own thesis, I will say there are two types of direct parental Akashic records or reports. One is local, which is that of your mother. It comes from your mother. A local Akashic record comes from your mother. This is me creating my own science to it. As you are inside the uterus, you pick up the data naturally. What she does also affects you because DNA is stamped by every experience. The other record is cosmic. This is paternal. This is the paternal one. You are all of your father determined to enter the earth, which is now in the form of the uterus, to survive. You will not be directly affected by your father's thoughts to the degree of that of your mother as soon as you enter the earth. Because it's like coming from space going to earth. It's no difference. That's exactly what it looks like. and then you see the earth like a red planet. That's exactly, I'm telling you, that's what I remember. I remember it like how I remember what I had for breakfast this morning, which was nothing. I ate once today. You will not be directly affected by your father's thoughts to the degree of that of your mother. But remember, however, you might remember past lives from your paternal side like crazy. I joined when I was 26, and that is what I said when I was 6. And my sister had it very hard with me to stop me from saying it, but I was saying it anyway. That's my big sister. There is too much to explain. How the one particle is the many. Like one light in the crystal is that same light that becomes the particular difference to so many. We need to teach the youngsters basic quantum physics principles that will help them understand that one can be all and different at the same time. These are science principles that the people need to embrace at this time. God is infinite, and so are you in these spiritual forces of cosmic winds. People, study everything you can about a photon. Just Google, just look at the characteristics of a photon. Or just go to Google and just look at the split theory. The split theory. Just do these things and see if it can put a different thought in your mind. Peace out.